to the Cuteness Report. Today we are reporting on how to make a Hello Kitty cake topper inspired by the beautiful Hello Kitty display that was featured at the Bellagio Conservatory in the spring of 2020.
Let's watch this.
For the base, we will be using 2 cups of Rice Krispies, 2 cups of miniature marshmallows, and 1 tablespoon of butter. Melt the butter in the microwave for 15 seconds and then pour it onto the marshmallows. Next, take the marshmallows and put them in the microwave oven for 30 seconds. After the 30 seconds, you will notice a difference in the texture of the marshmallows. They will still have their shape, but they will look puffy. Mix all of the marshmallows together until they have blended into a sort of creamy looking mixture that's kind of smooth. Next, we're going to add the marshmallow mixture into the bowl of Rice Krispies. We tried to dig a hole into the Rice Krispies, but it's not necessary. After all of the marshmallow mixture is in the Rice Krispies bowl, we're going to fold it all together until all of the Krispies are coated. Next, we're going to get another bowl and divide the mixture in half. One half will be used to form Hello Kitty's head and the other to form her body. For the portion that we're going to use to make Hello Kitty's head, we're going to use gloves. You don't have to use gloves, but it just makes it a little less messy when you do. And since the mixture is really sticky, you're going to want to add some butter or margarine to the gloves before starting. If you don't, it will stick everywhere and it'll be very messy. We're going to start by forming the Rice Krispies into a ball and gradually forming it into an oval until it looks like Hello Kitty's head. Once you're satisfied with how it looks, you can place it back into the bowl and set it aside. Before we make Hello Kitty's body, we're going to make her ears, arms, and hands. For her ears, we're just going to take some of the mixture and form it into a triangle. Then we're going to take the head and make sure that the triangle is the right size for the head. Once we got that measurement, we're just going to take it off, smooth the head, and make another triangle with the mixture that matches with the other ear. Then we'll have 2 ears that are basically the same size and shape. We'll set those aside and then work on the arms. For the arms, you want to take some of the mixture and just roll it in between your palms until it forms a cylinder. Do the same for the other arms until you have 2 of the same. Next, for the hands, just take a little bit of the mixture and form it into a ball. Once those are done, you're finished with the ears, arms, and hands. Now we're going to work on Hello Kitty's body. Take what's left of the Rice Krispie treats and roll them into the palm of your hands until a cylinder is formed. Continue to roll the cylinder until the Rice Krispies are firmly packed together. Next, place the cylinder onto the counter and flatten it down so that it balances by itself. Next, take Hello Kitty's big head and make sure that the proportion is correct to the body. You want the body to be around 3 inches and her head around 3 to 3¼ inches wide. Once the head and body proportions are correct, place the body down onto the counter and balance the head on the top to make sure that the body can support the big head of Hello Kitty. Once they're balanced, we're going to work on the arms. The arms can be positioned on Hello Kitty in any manner that you choose. But for this project, we're going to have both of the arms just going straight across. This will allow for the sleeves of the kimono to drape over nicely and to be visible. Once the arms are in position, we just want to make sure that the hand is in the right proportion to the arm. Once that is done, we're ready to move on to the next stage. Now we're going to work on the fondant that we're going to use to make Hello Kitty's kimono. We're going to spread some cornstarch over our surface to ensure that the fondant doesn't stick to it. You can also use powdered sugar, but the texture of the cornstarch seems to work a little bit better. We're going to spread the fondant onto this cornstarch and begin rolling it. Continue rolling it until the fondant is 1/8 of an inch thick and twice as wide as the body. Once we're done rolling out the fondant, we're going to take the body portion and put it towards the middle. We're going to take one side of the fondant and wrap it around the body portion. We're going to keep wrapping it until the body is fully covered. Then cut off any extra fondant. Now, smooth the fondant over the body portion until it's all covered and it's nice and smooth. You might have to cut off more of the fondant because you don't want too much overlap so that it becomes thick. Keep it as thin as possible. It may look lumpy in many places, but it's okay because we'll be covering it with the flowers. Once the body portion is fully covered, we're going to set it aside and work on Hello Kitty's head. For Hello Kitty's head, we're going to roll out the white fondant to 1/8 of an inch, just as we did with the red fondant. Continue rolling out the fondant until it's twice the size of the head portion. Once we're done rolling it out, take the head portion and place it in the middle of the fondant. Next, take the sides of the fondant and stretch it towards the middle. There will be a lot of places where it's going to bunch up and get really thick. So you want to stretch the fondant as much as you can over the head. You're going to have a lot of places that overlap and it'll rip in certain places also, but it's okay because we can still repair it by smoothing out the fondant. Keep making the fondant as thin as possible and ensure that all of the edges end at the same area, and that area will be the bottom of Hello Kitty's head. And once we have all of the fondant stretched out and the head portion is covered, just tear off the excess amount of fondant. Once all of the excess fondant is taken off, just make sure that all of the Rice Krispies are covered so no brown is showing through. Just keep smoothing out the head portion until you can get it as smooth as possible. You'll probably have to use some cornstarch because it'll start to stick to your hands. The head will remain bumpy, but just like the body, we will be covering it with the flowers, so we don't have to really worry about it. Once we're done smoothing out Hello Kitty's head, we'll set it aside, and now we're ready to work on her ears. For Hello Kitty's ears, take a piece of white fondant and begin rolling it out. We want to roll it out until it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. That's the same thickness that we had on all of the other fondants as well. Once we reach 1/8 of an inch thickness, take one of the Rice Krispie ears and fold it into the piece of fondant. We want to make sure that all of the sides meet in one point. So if it's on the bottom, just put all of the fondant to meet on the bottom. And once they all meet, we can just cut off the fondant and then just smooth the ear out. Once the ear is smooth, we're ready to work on the second ear, just in the same manner. For Hello Kitty's hands, we're going to need 2 small pieces of fondant. We're going to take one of the hands and just place it into the fondant, and then just cut off the excess fondant and just roll it into the palm of our hand. This should just make a smooth little ball, and we'll do the same with the other hand. Now we're ready to work on Hello Kitty's arms. For Hello Kitty's arms, take a piece of red fondant and roll it out to 1/8 of an inch thick. Then take one of the arms and cover it with the fondant. Ensure that the arm is covered and then cut off the excess fondant. Once all the excess fondant is cut off, roll it into the palm of your hands and smooth out the arm. Once the arm is smooth, take the other arm and do the same process. Once we're finished with rolling the arms, we're ready to work on the draping sleeves of the kimono. First, take a ruler and measure the length of the body. We're going to measure the length of the body because the top of the sleeves will be at the top of the body. Once we have the measurement, which is about 3.5 inches, we're going to double it to 7 inches. For the width, we're going to double the size of the arms because we have 2 arms, and that will be at 2 inches. We're going to roll out our fondant about 1/8 of an inch longer on all sides than what our measurements are. Once we have the correct measurements of our fondant, we're going to cut it. So first, we're going to cut it in half because we have 2 arms. Next, we're going to cut sharp corners and straight edges. This will allow our draping kimono sleeves to line up better. That way they look nice and tidy and spark joy. Once we're done cutting the sleeves, we're going to drape it over one of the arms. Then we're going to measure it to the body. This will allow us to see if we need to make any adjustments to the arms and the sleeves. We're going to set our sleeve with the arm next to the Hello Kitty kimono body. Then we're going to take the other draping sleeves and put it over the Hello Kitty arm. Once we have both arms next to the body, we're going to make any adjustments. Here we just have to cut the bottom of the sleeves so that it is flush with the bottom of the body. Next, we're going to close the sides of the sleeves so that they are not open. Pinch the sides of the sleeves together and hopefully they will close. If not, add some water and pinch the sleeves one more time. If that doesn't work, use some edible glue and then pinch them together. Once we're done with the sleeves, we're ready to work on the flowers. For the flowers, we'll be using white, pink, and red gum paste. If you don't already have these colors, you can use food coloring to make them. We already made the pink, now we're going to make the red from the white. Just take some of the red food coloring and add it to the white gum paste. Knead it together until the desired color is achieved. Along with the white, pink, and red, we also have yellow, black, and light pink. For the yellow, we're going to roll it into Hello Kitty's yellow nose. For the black, we're going to split it into 2 eyes as well as the whiskers. For the eyes, we're just going to roll them into an oval shape slightly larger than the nose. For the whiskers, we're just going to take what's left and just roll it into the palm of our hands until it's long and thin. Then we're going to cut it into 6 different pieces. We're going to make sure that all of the whiskers are about the same length. We'll need 3 for the right side and 3 for the left side. To ensure that the eyes and nose are the correct size, try them on Hello Kitty's head and make any adjustments necessary. Now for the flowers, we'll be using a fondant punch in 18 millimeters, 20 millimeters, 22 millimeters for the obi flowers, and 30 millimeters for the bow and sleeve flowers. We're going to begin by making the 20 millimeter white flowers. These will be used for Hello Kitty's big head, so we'll need to make a lot of them. We'll have the quantities for each of the colored flowers in our description bar. We're going to continue to knead the gum paste until it's nice and soft and we can begin rolling it. We're going to roll it out pretty thin so that our flower can have a nice curve to it. We're going to take the flower punch and punch it onto a soft surface. It could be a thin sponge or paper towels. This will give our flowers an arch to the back and a curve to the front. It's kind of hard to see. Let's check it again. So as you can see, it's kind of curved in the front and it has an arch in the back. That's how we want to punch out all of our flowers. We're going to continue to punch out all of our flowers until we have the quantities that we need. And like magic, we have our red flowers in 18 millimeters. We have our pink flowers also in 18 millimeters. We have the white flowers in 18 millimeters. And of course, the white flowers we just did in 20 millimeters. We'll also need some red flowers in 20 millimeters. We're finally ready to make Hello Kitty's flower bow. To make the bow, we're going to roll out the pink gum paste and use the 30 millimeter puncher to punch out the flowers. We're going to punch out 2 flowers for both sides of the bow. Next, we're going to take an umbrella tool and put the tip of it on the center of the flower. Then we're going to press the umbrella tool onto the petals of the flowers. This will make little V's around the flowers so that it looks like the flower has veins, but it also gives the flower a little more dimension and design to it rather than just a flat flower. Once we're done with one flower, we're going to do the same with the next flower. You can actually roll the umbrella tool over the petals. It might be easier and it'll probably make it even look better. Once we're done, we're going to take a ball tool and just press in the center of the flowers. This will also give the flowers some dimension. Once we're done with that, we're going to add some color to the flowers by using a gold spray and some vanilla extract. We're going to use a brush and put some vanilla extract in the middle. Then we're going to take the gold spray and spray it on the brush and then paint the middle of the flower. This will make it look like it's bursting with gold. Once the gold has dried, we're going to take some rose gold spray and spray the flower. It's going to make the pink look a little bit darker, but it's also going to give it a nice sparkle. Next, we're going to take the umbrella tool and poke little dots in the middle of the flower. It'll make it look like the flowers have anthers and are ready to pollinate. Once finished, we're done with the flowers for the bow. Now we're ready to work on Hello Kitty's big head. To assemble her head, we'll of course need her head, her ears, Gum Tex Tylose edible glue, water, 20mm flowers, and let's get the paw out, her eyes, and her yellow nose. To attach Hello Kitty's ear, we can use the edible glue or the water. I'm just going to use the water. Just brush some water on Hello Kitty's ear and stick it on one side of her head. Then take the other ear, dab some water on it, and place it about 1.25 inches or 2 fingers apart from the other ear. Then take a look at Hello Kitty's face and see if the ears are the correct size and in the right place. Once you've decided that Hello Kitty's ears are in the right place, then press firmly on them so that the gum paste sticks to the fondant and they're not slipping everywhere. Once we're done with putting on Hello Kitty's ears, we're ready to work on Hello Kitty's eyes. For the eyes, I'm going to use the edible glue because they're round and her face is round and I don't want it to roll off. Next, take the eye and place it in the middle of Hello Kitty's face below the tip of her left ear. Then take the other eye, add some glue, and then place that in the middle of Hello Kitty's face below the tip of her right ear. Now take a look at Hello Kitty's face and make sure that the eyes are in the correct place. If the eyes are moved, it might leave a black stain behind, so you might want to use a toothpick to make the marks of where you're going to place the eyes. Next, take the nose and place it on the middle of Hello Kitty's face. Never place it below her eyes or it might look strange. Now we're ready to put the flowers on Hello Kitty's face. Take one of the 20-inch white flowers and place it right next to her eye. Make sure that it's stuck pretty good so that we can work on the next one. Take the next flower and place it right next to the flower just placed down. We're going to make a line of the flowers from one eye to the other. Once there are a few flowers down and we know that we're going into a straight line, take the glue and just spread it with the brush in a straight line and then just add the flowers on top. It's a lot faster and easy to do. Continue the same process around Hello Kitty's eyes and nose until the area is completely filled with the flowers. The next section we're going to work on is the area around the ears. We're going to start adding the flowers below the ears and work our way to the tip of the ear. We'll do each ear one ear at a time. When adding the flowers to the ears, try not to put too much pressure on them or the ears may fall off. Continue with the other ear. Once the ears are completed, add flowers to the sides of Hello Kitty's face. Once we have the sides done, place Hello Kitty's face aside so that the flowers can dry and bond to the fondant. This will allow us to work on the back of Hello Kitty's head as well as the bottom without all the flowers falling off. Once dried, add a row of flowers below the curve of Hello Kitty's face. For now, just add one row of flowers. This way we know that the head will fit on the body. We can add more flowers later once we have the head on the body and the fondant is still showing. After we have completed the row on the bottom of Hello Kitty's head, we're ready to work on the back of her head. For the back of her head, just add the flowers straight across. If there are any open spaces, just add a flower there. Once we're done with the back of Hello Kitty's head, we're ready to work on decorating the kimono. We're going to start by brushing a triangle shape using edible glue on the top of the kimono. Next, we're going to get the 18mm white flower and add them, starting with 3 flowers, then going to 2 flowers, and then 1 flower. This will be the neck of Hello Kitty. Now, we're going to make a collar using the 18mm pink flowers. We're going to form a V under the triangle of the neck. Since the kimono is traditionally wrapped from left to right, we're going to indicate this by adding 2 of the pink flowers to the collar. This will also indicate the length of the top of the kimono before it reaches the obi, also known as the sash. On the top of the kimono, we're going to make a pattern of a flower made up of the flowers. We're going to start with 2 of the 18mm red flowers, then add an 18mm white flower, and then alternating that same pattern. In the end, it'll look like 6 red petals with a white center. If you don't want to do this pattern, you can just put the red and white flowers in random places. This is how it started before I saw the pattern of the flower, which I thought was cute, so I just continued the same pattern. After we're finished with the top of the kimono, we're going to start making the obi. For the obi, we'll be using 18mm white flowers sprayed with gold. We're going to make 3 rows of them around the kimono. The obi is usually tied with a bow, so we're going to make a bow out of the gum paste and just stick it on the back of the kimono and let it dry. For the bottom of the kimono, we're going to make a pattern that's similar to the top. For the center of the flower, we'll be using a 20mm red flower, and for the petals, we'll be using the 18mm pink flowers. We're going to alternate the pattern until we're finished. If you don't want to make this pattern, just place the red and pink flowers randomly around the bottom of the kimono. Once we're done putting the flowers around the kimono, we're ready to work on the draping sleeves. For the sleeves, we'll be using our special 30mm pink flowers, our 18mm pink flowers, 18mm red flowers, and the 20mm red flowers. We're going to start by gluing our light pink flower towards the top of the kimono sleeve. Working our way down the sleeve, we'll be adding 4 rows going 3 across of the 20mm red flowers, and then 3 rows going 4 across of the pink 18mm pink flowers. Working above the light pink flower, we'll be adding 18mm red flowers going 4 across, and we'll continue that until we reach the back of the kimono sleeve. Then continue the same pattern that's on the front. Finally, make the other sleeve identical. Then cover Hello Kitty's hands with 18mm white flowers. Now we're ready to assemble Hello Kitty's sleeves, body, hands, and her big head. To do this, we'll be using 4 toothpicks. For the first toothpick, poke it in one side of Hello Kitty's arm. Then take one of her hands and poke it through on the other side. Then they should be together. Then take the sleeve and poke it in between 2 flowers on the side of the kimono. Sometimes when it goes in an angle, it might stay a little bit better. Do the same with the other sleeve. For Hello Kitty's head, take 2 toothpicks and place it on top of the body. Then take Hello Kitty's head and push it on the toothpicks. Hold the toothpicks as you push down on Hello Kitty's head. Keep pushing it down until it reaches the body. Then make any adjustments to ensure that her head is balancing on the body. Now we're ready for the final touches. We're going to add Hello Kitty's whiskers to her face. These are freshly made whiskers because the whiskers that we made with the gum paste got too hard and would not bend over her face. If possible, make the whiskers out of fondant so they are more flexible. Once one side of the whiskers is done, then do the same to the other side. Ensure that both sides of the whiskers look the same so that they match. Once the whiskers are done, we're ready for Hello Kitty's flower bow. Take the special flower and add it to her left ear. Then take the other flower and put it right beside the other flower. And now we're done with Hello Kitty's flower bow. As a final touch, we're going to add a butterfly for Hello Kitty to hold in her magical garden. And finally, we're ready to put our super cute Hello Kitty on top of the cake. Before we do that, we will add 2 popsicle sticks to the bottom of Hello Kitty. This will add more support so that she doesn't fall down on the cake, as she did earlier today. Be sure to measure the popsicle sticks to the length of the cake so that she can be pushed down all the way. Continue to push down on Hello Kitty until the bottom of her kimono reaches the top of the cake. Once Hello Kitty is balancing, we are finished with our Hello Kitty flower-covered cherry blossom cake. We hope you enjoyed watching our video. If you did, please leave us a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.